What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and actually, this is Voodoo in the Woods. I'm According to Woods, and he is former U of MMA champion Pius Ina La Lobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. And UFC 280 is upon us. Actually, right now in Abu Dhabi, they are
Right now.
right now, not later. Later, they're weighing motherfuckers in. So theoretically speaking, there's a whole bunch of hungry people in Abu Dhabi.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, I
So
don't.
so I,
Yeah,
I I'm not sure if I read it correct, but I read that Charles Oliveira had made wait 10 hours before the time. I'm not 100% though. Don't quote me.
Jesus Christ. That I mean, we can file that under the damn horse meat of Canelo and the wine of what's his name, Borracho Costa.
Yeah. Oh, Hachiha.
So, well, we don't fucking know, man. All of those blonde-haired, peroxide blonde Brazilians and everything like that. But it might be a weird kind of deal that they're taking. But I mean, theoretically speaking, if they're trying to look pretty for the fights, all we can say is, like Mick Mac says, "Hi, baby, hi, baby." But I want to believe it's "Hey, baby," the Bing Bong, that type of "Hey, baby." Joe Biden, take me out to dinner. What's up, baby? Uh, he's not
Joe
gonna take
Biden.
us. Yeah, that guy. He's the guy. He's definitely a guy. And the other one was a guy, and the person before that one was a guy, and whatever the fuck. Inflation's still high. Whatever the fuck. But speaking of high, nobody's gonna get high on those motherfuckers because honestly, those people in the sheiks in Abu Dhabi don't play that shit,
Straight up.
man. They don't play
They
that shit
sky
at
high.
all. You think what's going on with Brittany Griner is bad? Try and do that in Abu Dhabi. Ain't
Don't think about it.
no. What is that R&B song? I forgot who did it. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Yeah, that's it right
Hey,
there.
you might lose an arm, literally.
100%. 100%. But speaking of losing arms, man, the bantamweight division of women, we have Lena Landsberg against Carol Hossa, right?
Okay.
15-4 is Carol Hossa, the
Okay.
Brazilian. She has wins over uh, Betch Correa, because of course, uh, Jocelyn Edwards, the Panamanian, right? But she lost to Sarah McMahon, who just recently got released from the UFC, right? In September, I believe it is. And just kind of a side note, uh, shout out to OG Bobby Green.
Ooh.
He just got released, as
What?
did Ilir Latifi. Um, both two of my favorite fighters to watch. But if you guys follow, there's a page on the Twitter machine called UFC Roster Watch, and it just tells you who gets added and who gets cut. And literally, in the bio, it says outside Dana White's office, which I think is hilarious. But it's not hilarious when people lose their jobs. So shout out to Ilir and shout out to
Latifi's
OG.
gone too?
Yeah, both of them.
Did he just win a match?
Yeah, but it probably didn't. It didn't chart with the. There's like
Uh,
literally hundreds of fighters in the damn UFC roster. So you know, but Sarah McMahon also was on there. I think from September.
yeah.
I do believe it is. So Carol Hosa has a win over the now released Sarah McMahon,
Right.
right? And yeah, let me just make sure. It was Randy Costa as of October 19th, so yesterday. So Randy Costa, Yamata Nishikawa.
Mm.
Uh, oh no, I'm sorry, I misspoke with the Ilir Latifi, but
Okay.
it was still a favorite. in Old Man Olenek. Alexei Olenek is no longer with the UFC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That makes
so
sense. That makes sense.
yeah, so we've got
That
Alexei
dude has fought. He had fought like some 60 fights or something like that.
100%. No, fuck. Like he was
More.
closing in on 100. I feel like he wanted to get 60 wins. That motherfucker was like he was perching in on 100. So shout out to Old Man Olnick. Jose Aldo as of September 18th. So
Yeah.
it's legends go falling by the wayside on the cutting room floor of the UFC roster. So we got
Things
Alexei.
change, Kundun.
Yeah, 100%. Unfortunately. Oh no, I was right about Latifi. Yeah,
It
Latifi.
was Latifi. Wow.
Yeah, so all in the same day we
That's
had
crazy.
as of 10 hours ago, Alexei Olnik. Actually, Olnik happened no, what is it? The 10th of October. And then Costa, Nishikawa, Bobby Green, and Ilir Latifi all one swift of the UFC pen. So much respect. Thank you, gentlemen, for this. And McMax says Blue Chew to help his inflation. I like it. The additive.
What is Blue Chew? What is Blue Chew?
It's got the active ingredients of Viagra, and you just chew it. You chew it,
Blue Chew.
Yeah, they're a sponsor of a lot of the podcasts. So,
That's what's up.
And according to McMac, that's the reason why Eric Bischoff was not in today, is because he, a Blue Chew outbreak or what have you. But I mean, while we're kind of there, just our condolences to Kevin Nash and his family. He and his wife lost his only son, Tristan. That was a rough one to kind of find out, especially, know people within like the podcast realm. And Tristan worked on the podcast as of Tuesday, and he's gone now. So our respect to Kevin Nash and his family. And this also happens on Scott Hall's birthday. So not a fun time. So just our condolences. But Carol Hosa, she's got some great wins. Vanessa Mello being one of them. Jocelyn Edwards, Betch Correa falls to Sarah McMahon, and then beats via rear naked choke in grappling at Submission Circus, which I need some video on that because I want to see what the fuck the Submission Circus is all about. I love the circus, so I want to see that. I want people to be like, I want the damn referees to be wearing the top. What is it? The not lion tamer, ringmaster. Like, I want the referees to be ringmaster as they're trying to call you out. But on the other side, we have Lena Landsberg, who is 10-6. The Elbow Queen, Lena. That's a either a great nickname or the worst nickname ever. Right? She's coming off of a 2-fight losing streak, right? She loses also to Sarah McMahon, the unanimous decision, and Pane Kianzad. But prior to that, beats former Invicta FC champion Tanya Evinger back in 2019, and the Ultimate Fighter, most recently, the Ultimate Fighter winner of Macy Chiason, right? But also, losing to Yana Kunskaya, beat Gina Mazzani, lost to Aspen Ladd. So she's been up and down here. Obviously, who could forget when she gets KO'd by Chris Cyborg at UFC Fight Night back in 2016, which I believe was Chris Cyborg's first fight in the promotion. So there's that. I almost feel like I got Carol Hosa on, I think by unanimous decision. I think Lena Landsberg might earn her distinction of being on the UFC roster watch in terms of cuts. And also, you fought Chris Cyborg. Nobody makes it on the after end of it better.
She's still here.
You don't get smarter. You don't get you don't get healthier by fighting Chris Cyborg. That don't happen. So I'm gonna go with not Malak.
Hossa.
Hossa, Carol Hossa.
Hossa.
That's yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Unanimous.
Hossa is a very fine athlete. Um, I understand why you chose your pick. She's well rounded. I remember that about her. Landsberg, though. Something draws me to Landsberg in this match. I don't know why. I'm a 50-50 you on this one.
That's
Landsberg.
yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
I have no assessment for why, but something just draws me to Landsberg for this particular match. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
It's funny that you say that because Rick Rubin, the co-founder of Def Jam and the producer of so many great records of all genres of music,
Yeah.
that's his deal. Is trusting his intuition, really listening to his intuition, not so much what he wants, but what the universe is telling.
Yes.
So I'm not mad at that. So shout out to you. Also, I fucking popped pretty damn hard because Rick Rubin is talking to Joe Rogan and he's like, fucking everything is pro wrestling. And he even, a lot of people didn't know this, but Jim Cornette after WCW starts Smoky Mountain Wrestling in Tennessee and Indiana before he goes up to the WWF full time to manage Yokozuna and Owen Hart and everything like that.
Oh,
But it was said in many like secret circles that Jim Cornette was actually bankrolled by Rick Rubin for Smoky Mountain, and he admitted it. Rick fucking Rubin said that he was the one who fucking paid for Smoky Mountain. He didn't even go to the shows. He maybe went to one show, but it blew my mind that Rick Rubin, the legendary Rick Rubin, was bringing up Jim Cornette and Smoky Mountain to Joe Rogan on the fucking podcast. I was like, oh shit.
That's pretty sick. That's
the world I live in. I'm just like,
that's the super plug right there.
Yeah, bro. So in the vein of Rick Rubin, go ahead and trust your judgment. I'm not mad at that. If it's done well for Rick Rubin, then it's gonna do damn well for you. So kudos to you.
We might be unanimous on this next one though.
Yeah, 100%. We got Malcolm Flash Gordon, 14-5. We've talked about this gentleman so much that I didn't even have to go into his stats to find his fight moniker. And actually, I was wrong. It's Malcolm X Gordon. I thought it was Flash Gordon. So maybe I don't know as much as I fucking think I know. Good God. Jesus Christ. Fucking suck. But in any event, he has wins over Francisco Figueiredo, Davidson's a bigger, younger brother, right? He beats the larger Figueiredo via unanimous decision back in 2021. And then Dennis Bondar by verbal tap. A shout out to Rafa Sparza, the fucking cohort of the Verbal Tap podcast.
He made him say Matei.
Yeah, fuck yes. You might as well. Yes. Jesus. I don't think there's,
shout out to Van Damme.
Right? Right? And I was just looking at one of my friends who makes sculptures. He basically got like this huge, like limited edition Jean-Claude Van Damme in fucking Bloodsport clothes and shit like that. He got that. He paid like $700 for that motherfucker.
Wow.
It does look sick as fuck. So it's funny that you bring up Van Damme because I was just watching that and I was like, that's fucking cool. But in any event, Malcolm Gordon is going against Mohamed Mokayev, right? A perfect 7-0. Obviously representing the Great Britain, which shit, man, not even fucking Liz Truss is repping the fucking UK anymore. So I'm just saying. But let's go. I mean, the 7-0, perfect record of Mokaev, it's pretty impressive, especially with the last two names there, and that is both Cody Durden, right,
Mm-hmm.
who he beats via guillotine choke, and
Mm-hmm.
Charles Johnson, I should say. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
Air Jordan. Um, so those are some pretty cool names there, right? So
Yes.
I, in the words of the great Voodoo Maximus, you know what? You can't beat perfection. So I'm
Yeah.
going with Mokaev, the Punisher,
Yeah.
for the win.
Mm. I'm gonna have to second that notion. It's not a bad bet at all. The young man is a terror. He's the Punisher. He came out. He came on the scene talking smack, calling a fight with Conor McGregor. You know what I'm saying? That tells me he understands business. You know what I mean? He knows there's a good chance he won't get a fight with Conor McGregor, but saying his name to help people remember him. And this is how I know this guy, Muhammad Mokaev. Yes, he is an excellent fighter. He is unstoppable up to this point. But the thing about those Dagestani is their underground experience is equivalent to a professional career. So when they cross over, like for example, this particular fella, when he crosses over, now he's got 7 fights undefeated, but really he's probably like 50 undefeated. You know what I mean? The experience factor is quite contrary to Malcolm Gordon, if not even more, superseding Malcolm Gordon. He's got the youth on his side. He's got that Dagestani wrestling. His striking is not that bad. Gordon is smooth and sharp and precise, but I think this kid's going to overwhelm him. He won't let him get started. He's going to shoot that double, keep him down, strangle him as soon as possible. So I definitely agree with your notion.
I like it. Um, Mick Mac says, "Who's going to Blink 182?" At
Where is it?
I mean, I guess the LA fucking tour is at Bank of California, but
Where's that?
nosebleeds are that's downtown.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so they tore down. In theory, if you haven't been down there in a while, they tore down um the LA Sports Arena, right? And
Okay.
the parking lot they
That's the one right
demolished.
next to the Coliseum, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's gone.
So yeah, it's been gone for like, God, it's been at least half a decade, I want to say. Like
That's crazy.
2017 is what
Things
yeah.
change.
Yeah, 100%. So they've got a soccer stadium of it's a little bit smaller than the Coliseum, but it's more updated, I guess you would say, right? So they're playing there, but I mean the cheapies are like $700.
It's not that serious, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll
Yeah,
catch it on YouTube.
or the aliens, man, the
Yeah.
aliens up
Yeah.
Tom DeLonge, because obviously Tom DeLonge is back in the band. I didn't mind Matt Skiba of Alkaline Trio filling in for Tom. The last two
Right.
Blink 182 albums with Matt Skiba, pretty fucking good. I'm
Mm.
sorry, I'm glad that Tom is back. The new song is amazing, edging, but yeah, like if I don't find any tickets on the day of, for like 70% less, then I'll just pass. I love Blink, but shit, I'll buy an album and a bootleg T-shirt. Fuck it,
Yeah,
whatever.
straight up.
Yes. Now, Alex Ramirez says, Adam Voodoo, I had my WWE undisputed championship shipped out to Texas to have Brock Lesnar sign it. Is it
What?
weird? I don't think.
Is that possible?
I mean, if you know where Brock Lesnar lives or frequents, maybe, and you have somebody on the other end that makes sure and has a good rapport with Brock
Hmm.
to ensure that A, it gets signed, and not
And
get
returned.
stolen, right? And then you put a return label. That I used to work at FedEx. I know all about this shit. So you pay on both ends. So you pay the fucking transfer going to, right, and you stick that label in the fucking box, right? And then obviously you pack the box back up, and then you pay going, right? So whoever on the other side, you took everything away from them in terms of thinking, and you put the label, whatever. So all they have to do is take out the thing, blah blah blah, do whatever they need to do, put it back in same box, and then just pull out the return label, and there you go. It's prepaid package. So if you know somebody that knows Brock Lesnar in Texas, awesome. But I also heard that Brock Lesnar might live in Canada. So
yeah, Saskatchewan.
right. So if I don't know.
He really lives in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, to the extent where with the fight with Mark Hunt, he had a Canadian flag rather than the American. So on his
He's
fight,
Canadian now, bro.
Jesus Christ,
He gets a hunt. He gets to hunt all he wants. He gets to live that life that he loves.
Yeah.
What else can a man ask for?
I don't know. Sable, is that? I mean, he's got that too. Maybe to not botch a fucking shooting star press at Mania against Kurt Angle, but
wow, damn near breaking his neck.
Hey, you figured it out. Like after that, he won a UFC title, so and got Sable, and then returned to the WWE for what, like $750,000 a match plus all
defeat diverticulitis.
Yeah, fuck yeah! You got your asshole,
bad dude.
Asshole, and the innards of your asshole fucking taken out and whatever, and you're still fucking kicking ass. So shout out to Brock, man. And this last run of Brock is probably the most entertaining. So shout out to Brock. I don't know, man.
Brock
so
Lesnar.
And McMac says was expensive ticks. No, 100%. But Mac has that money. He's dropping it into the super chat. So shout out to that. And ain't happening, dude. Sorry. I don't know. Like I said, if Tom sings with the aliens, I think he can get the aliens to fucking I don't know, transport us. What do you think? Teleport us to the fucking shows, man. That's it. And Sable is well worn. I mean, that's a matter of interpretation, man. But you could even say, they ran Brock through the WWE the first time, OVW, what is it, Minnesota State, whatever. So Brock is also well worn. So just saying. But also one thing that we're saying is this next fight. AJ Dobson 6-1 against the 6-2 Armin Petrosian. Petrosian, that's the last name of one of my PE coaches back at Inglewood. Yeah.
Mr. Petrosian.
Mr. Petrosian, 100%. Yeah, fucking I got chills because
I remember this kid.
Armin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
didn't he fight at
yeah, locally. Yes.
Bajmajian? That's the kid with Bajmajian.
Yes,
right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's the only one here. But Petrosian, actually, no. His last fight was in AMC, not To the Moon, but this is Russia. So it looks like homeboy is literally from, he's Armenian by my guess birthright, but raised primarily in Russia, or at the very least his career starts in Russia. But this is actually his third fight in the UFC, because it's kind of an exhibition. You're not really in the UFC if you go on Dana White's Contender Series, but that's how he earns his ticket. He punches his ticket into mainland UFC territory because he beats Kaloyan Kolev with a head kick, a TKO on Dana White's Contender Series last year. That's 10, 19, 21. Then goes into the machine, Gregory Rodriguez, right? And wins a
RoboCop.
wins a split decision in
That's
February of this year, right? But then suffers his first defeat in the UFC against Cal Brohilio.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with, right?
Yeah.
So he steps in there with AJ Dobson, right? And AJ Dobson is somebody that we have spoken at length, or 6-1. This kid's a stud, as is Petrosian, but he actually faces Hashim Akhaga, right? On Dana White's Contender Series about the same time as Armin, right? And beats Hashim by rear naked choke in the first round. Then he has his first fight in the UFC against Jacob Malkoun, which he loses via unanimous decision. And here he lands Armin Petrosian. Man, I feel like when in doubt, go with the Eastern, not European, but the Armenian, Dagestani, Russian, whatever. This is their house. If you saw the press conference yesterday, my goodness,
they mean business, huh?
They love everybody. Like, I mean, they couldn't even. They were cheering so loud, the interpreter couldn't even get on their shit because they were cheering before they understood the native tongue of each individual fighter. So I'm just saying, so I'm gonna say Petrosian. Nothing against Dobson, but again, he doesn't have home field advantage, and that could be the deciding factor. And I'm not taking anything away from the fight acumen of Petrosian. Obviously, he's fought a lot of times not in Abu Dhabi, but damn, this is going to be a pretty pro Armin Petrosian crowd. So I'm going with Armin Petrosian, probably split decision.
Since you're going split decision, that opens a trap door for AJ Dobson. Split decision means it could go either way. You have a feeling it's going to be a close match, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go AJ Dobson then.
I like it.
I'll go AJ Dobson just to even out the bet a little bit.
I like it, and you know what?
It's gonna be a good match though.
And I always have a problem. Obviously, a lot of these guys and gals have done everything in their power to get to the UFC. I almost feel guilty by saying, this person's gonna get. Well, by not picking him, and this person's going to get slaughtered because, like, this is their dream, and so to it with the loss, the dreams get slaughtered. What kind of value creation are we setting a precedence for? Not much.
But
I'm glad
those dreams can be reinforced by such a traumatic experience.
I was like, getting head kicked in the.
You get to that fork in the road. Am I going to double down and keep going, or am I just gonna take it easy and bow off? You know what I'm saying? People have to make decisions sometimes. And
100%.
It's some real ones.
Which I got to shout out, the good brother Jared Papazian, man.
Papazian.
He got out of the fight game, is selling commercial real estate. That dude he's doing well. So shout out to Jared Papazian.
Yeah,
former. Yeah, dude, he's amazing. Mick says no Brock signing, and there will be 100,000 crowd here in Melbourne for a cricket match between India and Pakistan. If you can believe that, I actually do believe that.
I can believe it.
No, I can believe it. I know you're not a fan of Will Harris. I believe it was the Anatomy of a Fighter guy, but he was talking on Rogan about like a cricket match, and he's like, "Yo, this shit did better than the fucking World Series, WrestleMania, Super Bowl combined, and that combined probably 4 times over."
Yeah,
like a fucking billion people watch the World Cricket Finals and shit like that. So
I know nothing about it.
I try to pick it up. Like I had Xbox Game Pass or whatever, and I was like, it's free, like whatever. All right, and I was just like, God, this is the dumbest fucking thing ever. So
hey, people love that shit.
I
Though.
love it. Fuck, we like MMA. People in pro wrestling, people in their underwear beating the shit out of each other for real, for predetermined either way. So
But there are levels to this.
hell
MMA
yes.
sits on top as number one, supreme.
I hope that they get the fucking pay scale that them cricket players are, though.
Yeah, that's what's left.
That's
That's what's
the
left.
that's the only
That's what we're
thing.
fighting for now.
100%.
That's what we're fighting for now.
And Micmac is fighting for this joke. He basically expunged this verbal gem earlier in the podcast with George Ramosa, Steve Kaufman, and Christy Olson. But what is a 3-letter word that starts with gas? Anyone? You want to go for it, Voodoo?
Oh, you got it, man. It's all you.
He said, "What's a 3-letter word that starts with gas?" You want me to give it to you?
Gas?
Exactly. It's a 3-letter word that starts with gas. It's gas. And as Steve Kaufman so eloquently put, he closes the infinite loop with that joke because it's a word and it starts and you close the loop. Thank you for closing the loop, Micmac. That's good brother shit.
Micmac, Patty Whack.
Give a dog a gas. Fuck yes. But this one is going to be a weird one. In the 170-pound division, we have Abu Bakar Nurmagomedov, 16-3-1. Obviously, you know that last name, right? Against another Russian, Gadzi Omar Gaziev, right? Who's 13-1. I mean, they're pretty similar styles, body types, and they both come from the Russian Federation. But before we go to Abu Bakar, we go to Gadzi, and Gadzi comes to us, from pretty much the Russian, MMA regional circuit, right? And then he comes to the UFC by way of Dana White's Contender Series in Jesus Christ. It was just last year, 10/26, almost a year to the day, right? And he knee bars Jancy Silva in the first round. And then he has his first official fight in the UFC against Cal Brogilio, and he loses via technical decision, right? So now we've got Abu Bakar. Abu Bakar, obviously a relative of the Nurmagomedov family that includes Abdulmanap and Habib Nurmagomedov, right? So we've got Abu Bakar. He was in PFL. Yeah, he was in PFL. Doesn't go to the championship finals, but he does compete in both PFL 3 back in 2018, PFL 6 also in 2018, and lastly PFL 10 also in 2018. And prior to that, he has the distinction of being an elite class of fighting for both World Series of Fighting, which is the precursor to Professional Fighters League or PFL, right? That gave us David Branch, that gave us Justin Gaethje, that gave us Magic Marlon Moraes, all champions, right? And then goes to the PFL right after. So he stays with the company even though the company changes its name, right? And then makes his UFC debut against David Zawada in a losing effort via triangle choke. Then has his first UFC win with a unanimous decision against Jared Gooden, and that comes on the heels of the UFC 260 card, Stipe Miocic versus Francis Ngannou 2, where Ngannou beats the shit out of Stipe. We all know that. We all love it. I'm gonna go with Nurmagomedov. That name is becoming the standard bearer for MMA competition. But also, the McKees are in there. There's obviously the Gracies are in there, but there's got to be a foil. But on this night, I actually feel like Abu Bakar has enough. I don't think it's going to be all that pretty. It's either going to be a grapple fest. If you're a grappling fan, you're going to love this, and it's going to be a wrestle fuck way to a unanimous decision. Other than that, a submission maybe, but that comes late in the third. But either way, I'm going with Abu Bakar.
I don't know either one of these gentlemen, so I'll 50-50 you and go Godzi.
Okay.
Omicron or something. Omega 0. Omega 0.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll go with that guy.
10 points there. And then also, Micmac changes the nature of the context. So let me say it again. What is a 3-letter word that starts with gas?
It's not gas?
It is, but this is not the answer he's looking for. You want to know that answer?
Yeah.
Car.
Okay. 3-letter word?
Yes, that starts with gas.
Okay.
You get it?
All right.
Because you can't fucking go in a car unless you got a Tesla or a Prius.
Right.
You can't get anywhere in a car without the gas.
Right?
It's funnier when I said it out loud. I'm corny. It's late. What the fuck? So we got that 50-50 split there. Now, on to Volkan Ozdemir against Nikita Krylov. Holy hell, somebody's going to get their fucking head knocked off in this one. Jesus Christ.
Somebody going to get their ass kicked.
Yes, in the words of Mark Henry's theme song. My goodness. That fit perfectly. Because I swear. Oh, my God. Okay, Nikita Krylov, 28-9, right? With wins over Alexander, former UFC light heavyweight title contender, Alexander Gustafsson, loses to the Bear Jew Paul Craig and Magomed Ankalaev, but then beats via unanimous decision Johnny Walker, loses to the now former champ Glover Teixeira, win over OSP, Ovinson Prior, lost to Jan Blachowicz, beats Fabio Maldonado way back at Fight Nights Global. You remember Fight Nights Global?
I remember Fabio Maldonado.
Yeah, Fabio. Did he face Fedor? Because he couldn't get anybody else?
Yeah.
With the big
and he got teed off on, too.
Oh, yeah, with the big fucking marshmallow gloves. Jesus Christ. I mean, I think before that fight, I didn't have UFC Fight Pass. Like, I had canceled it. And I was like, Fedor's coming to the UFC Fight Pass? Fuck yeah, sign me up. And it was just like Fedor against Fat Guy with a bunch of people eating dinner, with fucking, marshmallow ass gloves. It was amazing. It was amazing. But also, in Nikita Krylov's win column is former Bellator champion Emmanuel Newton. The fucking...
That's significant.
Yeah, dude. He's a world beater. This is, I mean, Ed Herman. I mean, this is Krylov's second run with the promotion. His first run, he beats fucking head kicks Ed Herman. Like Marcos Rodrigo Lima, rear naked choke. Lost to OSP the first time. Beats Walt Harris. Was in there with Soa Pulele. That's a headhunter right there. Vladimir Matashenko. Jesus Christ. But then speaking, I mean, obviously Krylov, fought a former title contender in Alexander Gustafsson. Well, Volkan Ozdemir actually fought for the light heavyweight title against Daniel Cormier. Volkan 18-6. And his fight moniker is No Time, but Jesus Christ, it seems like the time is up. And especially when you look at the people he's faced, right? He's good against the top maybe 15, but when you get to the tippy top of the fucking mountain, unfortunately, Volkan Ozdemir falters, right? Although he's beat Misha Kurkunov, he's beat Jimmy Manoa, he's beat OSP, much like his compatriot on this, his dancing partner on this night. But then the aforementioned lost to Daniel Cormier for at his bid for at the heavyweight light heavyweight title, right? Loses to light heavyweight title contender Anthony Smith, also light heavyweight title contender of Dominic Reyes, lose by split decision, but then he picked it back up and beats Ilir Latifi with a left hook and Alexander Rankic via split decision, but then loses to the current champ Yuri Prohachka prior to his championship run, and then loses to Magomed Ankalaev on the undercard of the Jan Blachowicz Govo Teixeira card. Then gets a win back, rebounds and beats the Bear Jew Paul Craig via unanimous decision. So I still like Krylov, honestly. And that's nothing against Volkan Ozdemir, but I do feel like Ozdemir is on the way down. Krylov, has tasted both defeat and victory in the octagon, and that was just his first run in the promotion. Then he's even more dominant in his second run with the promotion, and I think we're going to see a title contender out of Krylov. So I'm going with Nikita Krylov, man.
I second that notion. Krylov, he's got this fire in him. He's got this fire. Your assessment is spot on. No need to repeat it. Krylov is my guy too. He's earned it.
Well, but speaking of earned it, because Christina says gas go with ass. Never
Indeed,
forget.
it does.
100%. And yes, hi VoodooMaximus, how you doing tonight? And
what's up? What's good with you?
Yeah. And then McMack says, in my comment that it's late, he says it's only 5:30 p.m. down under. So shout out to you, McMack. Because it's about a quarter to midnight here in the U.S. So just saying, or the Pacific Coast. Well, I don't know where the fuck we are geographically. We're on the West Coast. That's what I know. And it's probably 2 hours later. It's 2 a.m. in I almost said Oklahoma, but I said Oklahoma. I was going to say Oklahoma, but in my head it was like New York, which tells you any fucking sense is it's fleeting at this moment where I can confuse Oklahoma with New York. Fuck yes.
You said Pacific Coast, right?
Pacific something like that.
Yeah, I agree. We are, because our ocean is the Pacific Ocean. So therefore, you are absolutely correct, my friend.
I love it. I love it. Even in my mental defeat, apparently I was right on this one. Yes, 100%, and get the scholar to co-sign for me. So I appreciate that. But also what I can appreciate is this next fight in the 185-pound division. 12-1 Cal Borrallo, who we just talked about.
He's one that's beating everybody.
Yeah, 100%. 12-1 going up against Makhmud Muradov, who's 25-7. Muradov. Holy hell, that's a lot of stuff to say. I lost some saliva in my mouth, which is going to make him that in itself is probably going to make him a crowd favorite come Saturday. I guarantee you. But he's got wins over Alicio de Chirico, or somebody that we've talked extensively about over the course of the show. He KOs Trevor Smith, right? And he was, supposed to fight Antonio Carlos Jr., Carl Robertson, Christoph Jotko, Kevin Holland, but then eventually faces Andrew Sanchez, former UFC Ultimate Fighter alumnus, right? And he hits a flying knee to a TKO on the undercard of Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor 2, the fucking one where he breaks the leg, he being Conor, right? Loses to GM3 Jared Mishart via rear naked choke and goes into the fight with Kyle Borrallo. So going to the natural Kyle Borrallo, who looks like fucking Paulo Costa in terms of his body type. if you're natural, kudos to you, man. Believe that, man. Blue chews and
Yeah.
vitamins. That's all it is. I got you.
Yeah.
But he's got wins over Jesse Murray via Dana White's Contender Series. Um, uh, Ghazi Omar Gadziev, right? And Armin
Yes.
Petrosian, who we mentioned. Um, I think they're pretty even. So I'm actually going to go 50-50 with you. If you would
Let's go.
allow me, go ahead and
Okay.
pick first, and I pick the
Okay.
opposite.
And which one is that?
I just said you pick one first. You see what I did there? Jedi mind trick like a motherfucker. There's levels to this shit.
Okay, this
So,
one has more experience. He's higher in the division.
ranking.
Okay, I'll go Mahmoud Muradov. He's
Okay.
gonna bring the upset. Oh, he's gonna slow down Kyle Bohahiho and slow him down a bit.
So then I'm gonna go with Kyle Brahilo, as
Yeah.
you eloquently said, 100%. And just in case anybody forgot, we still have the 4 name pronunciation classes by VoodooMaximus for 1 easy payment of $9.99.99 or 4 easy payments of $4.99.99. You could pronounce names like VoodooMaximus just did. Just say it. Who don't wanna? I wanna. You wanna. Christmas is coming up and inflation's high and shit's gonna go south in terms of the stock market. So get your ass better, an investment better than crypto. It's the name pronunciation classes by VoodooMaximus. Sold right here. Just saying. Now we got this interesting matchup here. We have Bilal Muhammad against Sean Brady. This is on the prelim card. So 7 fights just in the prelims, right? Of a 12 fight card. That's amazing, right? Because if you're the pay-per-view, if you're shelling out $70 for this thing or 80, I think it's about 90 in HD, right? You're only getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 fights on the pay-per-view portion of the card, including 2 title fights, and then 1 featured matchup, right? The third from the top. But you're getting 7 fights if you just have ESPN Plus. So that's a hell of a deal. And it's an early card. And it's an early card. So I'm just saying. But we got Sean Brady, the perfect 15-0 against Bilal. Remember thy name.
Remember
Muhammad.
thy name.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Remember my name.
I got some shit.
Go ahead, brother. Go.
I don't want to shit on her. I don't want to shit on her.
I want to hear what you got to say.
But
I think we're on the same wavelength, though.
Okay. So Sean Brady, right? Good wins over tough guys. Beat Court McGee via unanimous decision. Ismail Aduraev, our guy, the beast, Christian Aguilera, who makes a pretty fucking great chicken sandwich. So go ahead and check out JD Wings and Things if you're in the Orange County area. That's a plug there. But I've tried it myself. I'm a believer. So JD Wings and Things, follow them on their social. And it's one of our guys in our MMA community that took his run of fight purses and hard work. He was a carpenter before that and ended up opening up a chicken restaurant that is probably better than Wingstop. Yeah, I said it. So beat Christian Aguilera, beat Jake Matthews via a submission, arm triangle choke, beat Michael Chiesa, holy shit, beat Craig Jones via decision. Craig Jones is one of the craziest, most tenured grapplers they are, and you beat Sean Brady beats Craig Jones in grappling. Beats Killer Bee Ben Sanders via Kimura. And then now facing Bilal Muhammad. Whoo, buddy. Bilal's got a tough road ahead of him, right? But Bilal Muhammad, again, 21-3, right? Had the no contest, the eye poke to Leona Edwards, right? But in his illustrious career, and it is illustrious, no matter what I think about him, he's beaten Jordan Mean, Rude Boy Randy Brown, Dirty Bird Tim Means, chance rencounter, been in there with Jeff Neal, beat Curtis Millender, beat Takeshi Saito, beat Lyman Good, and beat Diego Lima. Fuck,
Lyman
that's
Good.
a Jesus Christ. That's
I
a
remember him.
all of these guys. Holy fuck, man. That's a
Yeah.
Chris Curtis on the
Yeah.
like way back in the day. Back
Yeah.
in 2014, which that just tells you how long Chris Curtis has been in the game. Man,
Yeah.
he's beaten I'm sorry, he's beaten the who's who of this particular division, both in the UFC and out of it, He's fought for Titan FC. You remember Titan FC? They had their
Of
weigh-ins in
course.
the damn boats.
Of course. Of
Shit,
course.
yeah, man. Shout out to Titan FC out in South
Good
Florida.
old days.
Yeah, so, but the thing about Bilal Muhammad, I guess the kids call it cringe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the shit he says, it's just, even the fight moniker. Like, remember thy name, remember my name, whatever. Like, this is a guy that on the press conference, and they're cheering for him, right? Because there's a lot of people of his ethnic origin, right?
Yeah.
And he's all like, "Oh yeah, Philadelphia, blah blah blah, whatever." But he's saying that when you've got theoretically hometown advantage, even though you're not from Abu Dhabi,
Right.
they're
You
behind you,
still got
and then
hometown advantage.
right, and then you're gonna put over someplace thousands of miles away,
Yeah.
like this every like this, and I'm not
He
saying
did
that
think
he's a
that one
great.
through.
I again, but that's the thing. He doesn't think anything through. When he goes, he had a shot at being a commentator on the panel, and not a lot of things that he said made sense. It just, he was the Stephen A. Smith of the UFC panel, which is saying
Damn.
something because, I mean, shit, you're an actual fighter who's beaten a hell of a lot of names, and even if you didn't win, you still were in there with Alan Joban and Vicente
Yeah.
Luque.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. Um,
Incredible athletes.
yeah. I mean, if you want us to remember your name, you didn't understand the assignment. Why are we going to remember your name? For your fight acumen? Maybe. For the dumb shit you say? Also, maybe. So, with this being said, I'm actually going to go with Bilal's opponent. I'm going with Sean Brady to keep it undefeated.
Uh, uh, if it ain't broke, ain't no need fixing it. The boy's undefeated for a reason. He is a complete mixed martial artist. And this 170-pound division is just absolutely perfect for him. This is the match he needs to get in the mix. From this match, though he has no personality, he does not have charisma. After this fight, if he is to beat Bilal Muhammad and take that fourth position, he's in the mix. He can potentially get a title match in 1 to 2 fights. But he's got to beat Bilal. If he beats Bilal, then he's that good old American fishing outback country boy. You know what I'm saying? He's that type dude that's got good squabbles, and he'll choke you out if he has to. So Sean Brady is undefeated for a reason, and he's gonna prove that yet again. Come Saturday or
Yeah.
tomorrow for some people.
And you know what's weird, right? Because I just got verbally diarrheaed the heck out of Bilal Muhammad. But then I'm gonna shout out to Shaman Steve. Good
Shaman
evening.
Steve.
Hell yes.
Sure.
But the thing about it is, at least it was concise. Although Sean Brady did give me Stipe Miocic's interview vibes, 100%. That dude might be punch drunk already, so he needs anything he can get. And Mick Mac says, $90, what the fuck? I'll grab the bootleg. I'm not encouraging it, but also, if you pay $90 for the damn stream when the stream doesn't work, and a lot of the $90 doesn't pay the actual fighters, I'm just saying, and I was, so I ain't mad at you. Bunta 1987 says, "Sup, Voodoo? Good to see you."
What's up, champ?
Yeah, man. So, Jesus.
USA.
So,
Okay.
so again, you're going Brady. I've, I don't know. Maybe I go Belal.
Uh,
Maybe I go
what's
Belal.
up? What's up? 1987. I remember. I remember. I remember. Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember. I remember.
Yeah.
All right, champ. Hey, man. Shout out to PG, man. Shout out to everybody. You too. We'll catch up one of these days.
Hell yes. But speaking of ketchup, man, Manon Farrow, even though she's been vicious, one would even
Yeah.
say ferocious, right?
Mm-hmm.
The French, for the French lady, 9-1. One of the scariest people in the women's flyweight division. That's why her
Agreed.
fight
Agreed.
moniker is the Beast. She just murks gals left and right.
Seek and
Uh,
destroy.
that's it. She's got one setting, and that's it. Fought the Baby Shark Tabitha Ricci and KO'd her second round. Unanimous decision over Amira Bruno Silva. Um, Unanimous decision over an equally tough Jennifer Maya. Yeah,
Pressure.
Jesus, my goodness. Uh,
Pressure.
yeah. So then she steps in there with the blonde fighter, Caitlin Chukugian, 18-4. What can we say? Again, it's weird because Caitlin has been in the UFC since Jesus 2016, and I don't really remember any of her fights until I want to say Jessica I. So
Mm.
you know,
Evil eye. Huh?
yeah, I don't I I would even say maybe even the Jennifer Maya fight. you know.
Mm.
But in any event, she didn't make a lot of waves, right? But she said something, at least in my mind. If you guys knew about her before I did, kudos to you. You guys are the real MVPs. But she did say something that was pretty intriguing to me, and she's like, "I didn't know we could duck fights. I just say yes to everything." Kind of making her case, whether she knew it or not, to be almost like the female Donald Cerrone in the hearts of the fight fans the world over. You know, and she's in a tough spot. Any female fighting on this card, we've seen what the WWE has to do when they go to the Middle East. They're on the first tour of the Middle East. There were no women that competed. Then when they finally were able to have the women compete, they were long sleeve shirt, fully covered and everything like that. So with that all being said, for her to kind of, I think, change the perception of women's MMA in a region that might not necessarily go for that stuff, and basically making herself out to be the workhorse.
Mm.
Shout out to Caitlin Chukugian. But
Mm.
again, she's got a tough assignment on this particular night in Manon
Mm-hmm.
Furo. I want to hear your thoughts because I'm not ready to really make a pick yet because in my mind, I'm 50-50.
Chukagan has tried out for the title, and she lacks a certain speed. She lacks a certain speed, and due to that lack of speed, as long as someone who has that speed is holding the title, she'll never be able to win it. Shevchenko's holding that title right now, but this French assassin brings the same type of ferocity, the same kind of heavy pace, touching you, kicking you, punching you type of pace, and excellent wrestling too to go with it. So that fence work is going to be fantastic. The clinch work, it's going to be on the feet. It's not going to the ground. Manon is, I believe, will hold her off the ground, causing the fight to stand back up, where she's going to get battered. And I do agree that the Beast will be moving on. If not getting a stoppage in the third round, perhaps unanimous decision victory.
Okay, I like it. So I think I'm gonna go with you. I think I'm gonna go with Manon Furo because you did say something pretty poignant in the fact that Caitlin Chukugian is just kind of the average fighter, man. Like, no
She's
better,
good
no
though.
worse.
She's
She's
very
good,
good.
right?
She can't
But
pick the title.
No, and she's had her chance. So that blew up like Rick Rubin's house in Texas, apparently. That he failed to wake up from until it was like too late. So,
Mm.
um, with that all being said, yeah, I think the Beast moves on. Um, yeah, she's already had problems with Shevchenko, and the thing about it is Shevchenko's gotten so much better since they
Mhm.
fought, and even then it was a one-sided ass kicking. So I'm gonna go with the Beast Manonfuro. But speaking of
And,
Beast,
and
oh,
she also beat the other Shevchenko, but she lost
oh,
the
and
championship shot though.
Antonina,
Yeah,
yeah,
she
sister,
beat Antonina.
yeah, sister Shevchenko,
Yeah.
which is not to be confused with sister Sludge.
Yes,
Just
yes,
saying.
yes. The
Um,
pilot.
Yes, but speaking of things that'll sledge, this is
Mm.
might be an unpopular opinion, but Micmac says Halloween Ends was good. So,
Yeah. I've seen Halloween Ends. It's safe to say that Michael Myers ain't gonna come back.
oh, okay,
He won't
okay,
make it. He won't be making a comeback.
oh,
He's done. He's Don Dada.
like a Marty Jannetty in the eyes of the law. Um, and Adam, will you see Black Adam? I see Black Adam every day. I look in the mirror.
That's what's up.
But I believe he's referencing the Dwayne Johnson movie. Yeah, why not? Why not? I don't have a dog in the hunt one way or another. Especially if it crawls across the one of the streaming services that I already have. Yeah,
Yeah,
I might give it a look.
I can wait.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Who?
But you know who can't wait? Matheus Gamrot,
Oh,
21-1, to put
easy.
hands on Benil Dariush, and I believe
Ooh.
the feeling is mutual. So let's go down the tail of the tape with Gamrot um, Matthias Gamrot, been in there with and beat
Mateus.
Scott Holtzman, right? Hot sauce,
Mhm.
right? Been in there with Little Heathen, Jimmy Stevens, and beat him by Kimura. Diego Fiera also fell to a submission, right?
Mhm.
Armin Sarukian, unanimous decision, right? That's Stormin Norman Park. That happens prior to the UFC, where he beats him by doctor stoppage. The doctor said, "Hey, Mateus is beating the tar out of Norman Park so much that we got to step in there for the longevity and the quality of life of Norman Park. This is not going to be pretty." I'm just saying. That's saying something. But also saying something is Benil Dariush, who I believe he's on a title run. Um,
Mhm.
so the guys that Bilal, I mean not Bilal Muhammad, but Benil Dariush. My apologies. Um, first off, he's a King's MMA guy. That tells you all you need to know in terms of who he's training with. It's the who's who of MMA. Now, 21-4-1 is Benil Dariush, and he hasn't lost since his loss to Alexander the Great Hernandez back in March of 2018, where he gets KO'd. But
Right.
since then, he's beat via unanimous decision Thiago Moses, Hugh Drober via armbar, Frank Camacho with a rear naked choke, Drakkar Kloss overhand left. Oh man, I remember that
Mhm.
overhand left with Drakkar Kloss, man. Uh, Obviously Scott Holtzman for splitting back fist. Remember that one too during the pandemic. Um, Beat Diego Fiera and beat El Kukui, Tony Ferguson. Um, so this is he's a SoCal guy. Might have not, he's lived here long enough that he's a SoCal guy, right? So I'm going with Benil Dariush. I think it's going to go decision. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna KO or submit Gamrot. I could be wrong,
Mm.
but yeah, well,
I know this Gamrot fella. He's bigger. He's bigger than Dariush. He's bigger. He's a bad dude. Real bad. I don't know if Benil can beat this guy. I think he's got the potential to stop Benil. He could KO Benil Dariush. He's got that ability. You want to go on the ground, he's got the ground too. He's a fully loaded 50 caliber weapon, sniper rifle. He's got that kind of efficiency. He's so good, Adam. I'm willing to go 50-50 with you on this one, man.
Okay.
He's that good. Even though King's MMA is what it is, and we love King MMA, this guy deserves that kind of respect. This Gamrot fella. So I'll balance the scales. So you know what I mean on the Gamrot fella. I think he'll stop him in the third, no later than the third, if not the second.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's badass, bro. He's bad.
I mean, yes, and theoretically speaking, Beneil Dariush is on his one last run. If he doesn't make good of this, I don't know. So I'm still rolling with Dariush. That's his home team, so I like it.
He's a worthy pick.
Yeah, as is Gamrot. I this could be fight of the night. Honest to goodness, with the powers that be and where this is positioned on the card, they're going to surprise a lot of people, a lot of casuals that might not know the names, that might not remember thy name. See what I did there? Speaking of remembered names, Mike Meters, or Mike Myers will be reincarnated in the baby. His soul's transferred. One can only hope. That's what happened to Chucky. That's the genesis of Chucky, right? So, I'm just saying. Transferring souls. I think that might have been an Undertaker promo. Like him and Big Show in the desert, and they were transferring souls or whatever the hell. That was not the greatest promo ever, especially from Taker. But in any event, who's going to be trying to take each other's souls?
Who?
Sugar Sean O'Malley, 15-1. Right, going up against former UFC bantamweight champion Petorian, who's 16-3. Now, did you catch? I could go down the stats and everything like that, but did you catch the
press conference? I believe was what he was trying to say. So much happened during that press conference. Which part? Which part were you talking about?
Where Petorian called, it was like Sean O'Malley basically was like, "Hey, there's no way the fucker is 5'7". He's got to be about 5'5" or whatever the hell, right?"
Yeah, I remember that.
And then it came late because it came via an interpreter. But the crowd reacted before the interpreter could tell us English speakers what the fuck was up, right? And everybody was laughing, and through it, the interpreter was like, "It doesn't matter how big or small I am, blah, blah, blah. It's all about the acumen. Look at you. You look like a whore on the side of the road." And then the interviewer goes, "Hey, Sean, you got anything to say to that?" He's like, "Nope. You got me." He called you a whore, and he took a second, and he was like, "Yep, that might be true."
You can't let those things go unresponded.
He did though.
You gotta say something.
No, he was like, he did say something. Yeah, got nothing. He's got it right.
He should have been ready for whatever with that pink hair he had.
Yeah, dude. And the puffy jacket, you look like a damn, them Luigi's, Italian shaves ice that you get in the fucking with the wooden spoon and shit. Mm-hmm. That's what he fucking looked like. He looked like a damn blood orange gelato and shit. In the middle of the fucking Abu Dhabi summer or desert or whatever the fuck. I don't know, man. You know what? It's weird, right? Because I thought Petorian was this unstoppable monster, right? I thought that Aljamain Sterling's win was a fluke, right? Especially in the way that it happened, the illegal knee from Petor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Aljamain beat the brakes off of Jan the last time and
You
retained
call
his.
that beating the brakes off of him,
I
man?
don't.
Dude didn't even have a scratch on him, bro. Peter. He didn't even have a scratch on him. That's not a beat down. That was a hug fest. All he did was hug on him and hold him down. He didn't really do damage.
Okay.
They gave him credit for winning a match for hanging on a dude's back. And that's it. That's all he did. There was no damage done. You know what I mean? The guy with his back taken did more damage than the guy on his back.
But if you're perilous to stop it from happening.
Hey man, he had the dominant position and he did no damage.
Yeah.
How dominant was his position when he's doing no damage? No damage was being done.
I feel like this is like one of those conjunction junction. Where's the function shit?
But I understand that the sport is still very new. What, some 25, 26 years?
Yeah.
So these things are gonna take time. But a fight like that should not have been given to him based on the merit that he won it. That second match. He didn't do any damage. Yes, he had dominant position, but he didn't do any damage. He didn't do any damage. So what was so great about his performance? There was nothing great about it. It sucked.
Damn. Okay.
He turned an MMA fight into jiu-jitsu, which is whack. If jiu-jitsu was the finish, right? Like Oliveira does, he'll stand with you, move on to whatever, and then strangle you, right?
Yeah.
Not use it as the entirety of the fight. Like the hell, you know what I mean? It was whack to me, is all I'm saying.
Damn.
According to Woods, that fight was
whack. I feel like you were gonna go full on Fred Durst with me. With all your shit
I was gonna
back,
go DEFCON 3.
Okay. I was like, what's the song? The Limp Bizkit? Like, I think it's take your shit back. All that shit is whack. Da, 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 da. That's the one with Method Man. I want to say it's In Together Now. Like it's playing out like that. Da, da, da. Yeah, it's In Together Now. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. So just wear your hat backwards the next time, Voodoo, because you'll get the association of Fred Durst. Who doesn't want that in 2022, right?
Keep rolling, bro.
Just saying. Yeah. So you think Sean O'Malley would beat Peter Yan?
I think he has a chance. If he's able to establish distance and manage distance really well with those jabs and constant movement, he can keep the distance. He's quite long, kid. He's got the height advantage, the reach advantage. If he's able to establish that distance, Petr Yan will have an issue with entering. That huge circumference advantage that Sean O'Malley has. So, but Petr Yan is also an assassin, former champion. As good as they come. He's only lost to one person, I believe. You know, he's lost 3 times. Aljamain Sterling is like what, 2 of them? You know what I mean? And they were both some whatever losses. You know, the only other person he lost to was Magomedov, which he came back 2 fights later and took the fight back by unanimous decision. He lost by split decision. He came back and won by unanimous decision. So this is no pushover individual. This is the former champion who got snaked out of his title by Aljamain Sterling. It is what it is. Right now, in this particular fight, I like both fighters. They both have potential in different areas. O'Malley has the potential to become the next big thing. Petr Yan is in position to be a reigning defending champion for a while. So he is that caliber fighter. But for the sport itself, I choose O'Malley for the sport. It's very, very rare. I mean, his opportunity to win this match is very, very low. It's very, very low. The task is such a great task for him. Uh, Someone of this caliber. You know what I mean? There's a high probability he might lose, but he's got the equalizer. He's got that power in his hand, and he snaps really well. His accuracy is on point. So if he's able to withstand the fury of Pietro Yan by hitting those angles, cutting the angles, and countering, he'll do well. I don't see Pietro Yan shooting the double. I see Pietro Yan try to smash him, snap his leg. He's that kind of dude. He's gonna kick him so hard, try and snap his leg, and beat him down until he passes out from strikes. So it's gonna be a stand-up banger more, but technical at the same time because these aren't amateurs here. These are world champions, high performers. They understand the game. Even Pietro Yan, even though he doesn't speak English, he understands. He's very witty in his language. His translator lets you know what he's saying, and his comebacks are on point. He understands. He just hasn't learned the English language yet, but he understands what it takes to succeed. He's got great mic skills. He can fight like hell, and he's tough as nails. Platform is coming together as long as he keeps doing what he's doing right now. But right now, the big money is Sean O'Malley. He's got the biggest potential out of the both of them. Actually, no disrespect to anyone. O'Malley's got the biggest potential on this particular card. That's just being honest. If he goes out there and he beats Pietro Yan, he's the next big thing. The promotion will back him, and he will sell like crazy. You see pink hair everywhere. All this funny rainbow hair everywhere in the UFC. If he's able to beat Pietro Yan. So I'm for the success of the sport. I want that next megastar. So I'm gonna go for the underdog, Sean O'Malley. Even though I know Pietro Yan has a 95% chance of winning. I'm gonna put my money on that 5%.
I like it. I'm going with the giant Hasbulla. I'm going with Peter Yan.
I saw that.
Yeah,
That
they fucking rang that. For those who don't know, they were in like a UFC gym in Abu Dhabi or whatever, and this is on like embedded in episode 2 or whatever. And Hasbulla's hanging out with them or whatever, and Hasbulla's got the little fucking voice, man. Looks like a grown ass little man and whatever. And then they're in between rounds, and I think Makachev was just finished a round, and there's a little timer for the round to be over, and it goes whoop, and I swear to God, it looked like fucking Hasbulla shitted himself. He wasn't expecting all that. I don't know why that popped me, but I was like, that's great. So yeah, I'm going with giant Hasbulla Pietro Yan. And hopefully he gets another opportunity at the title, And Mick says, it looks cold there, Voodoo.
You know it.
Yeah. And O'Malley will get knocked out in the 3rd round, says Mick.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. If he makes it that far.
Yeah. You know what? You got O'Malley. I'm going to go with Mick, and I'd say 2nd round is pretty good. I feel because aside from what Tyrion Ware and Chito Vera, who has O'Malley really been in there that's really tested him? They got the fucking one guy who kicked the shit out of O'Malley's leg, and his fight IQ was all fucked up.
Chito.
Was that Chito?
Chito Vera, yeah.
And Cheeto fucking kicked it, not the leg that was hurt. It kicked the other leg.
Oh, you talking about that one dude?
Yeah.
No, that dude had him hurt, and then he went for the double leg takedown.
Yes. I'm like, that was as you remember that Owen Hart promo about I kicked your leg out of your leg.
Yeah,
that's exactly that. And the thing about it is, Sean O'Malley still fucking won.
Yeah,
like it, we wouldn't be talking shit if it worked, right?
But
It's like
that
one leg
dude,
of that.
man. I mean, why would you go for a double leg takedown when you have the standing advantage? It was just like a rookie's mistake. He could have won that match.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah,
could have derailed the hype train.
yeah, I believe it was Sukamath. Yeah, and which, funny enough, Sukamath is one who got beat by Albert Morales in what ended up being Albert's only win in the UFC career back at UFC 209, way back in the day. I don't even think I was doing interviews at that point. Like that time. Um, so I'm going with Grown Hasbula, and you're going with
Yeah,
somebody that was told to be like, oh, whore on the side of the road.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Chances are slim, but I'm like, F it.
Yeah, why not? Why not? You know, but also it's somebody that has said F it in the past, somebody who has held championships before, and is also in the co-main events of the evening. We have a UFC bantamweight title matchup against two people who have a lot of controversy surrounding them in this particular fight. We have former UFC bantamweight champion TJ Killershaw Dillashaw going up against the current champ Funkmaster Aljamain Sterling, right? This one is wild, right? Because obviously Aljamain Sterling, his first win, the first time he beat Jan for the title, it was a controversy. He got hit with an illegal knee, and they basically call it out, and Aljamain gets this, the win and the title. Now that was unpopular amongst the MMA fan base, but Aljamain, he didn't, you know, he wasn't mad at it, so it was good for Aljamain. But then Aljamain, just like you said, wrestle, fuck the hell out of
Peter.
yeah, Pictor.
Peter.
That's that guy. I'm looking right at his face, and I'm all like, he actually looks like a leech.
Ah,
Like his pictures like that, and he looks like the leech. But anywho, um, and then on the other side, you got Dillashaw, PED Dillashaw,
killer
and that
shot.
came, you know, that can make you feel weird, right? Because obviously you may love the flyweight division. Hell, I love the flyweight division when I was still in WEC. I know you did too, Voodoo. You
Yes.
might have loved the flyweight division when Mighty Mouse was, you know, he was hand and shoulders above the rest of them, right? And TJ Dillashaw was sent in to basically kill the division. One, and then goes into Rogan and talking with Sam Calavita, and how they got everything down to science and what have you, right?
Silence.
Yeah. Well, he was silent for fucking 2 years when he got the
Yes, he
USADA
was.
violation for sure, you know. But he ended up opening up a business called like Fresh Juice, which I think
Right,
is hilarious.
right,
But
right,
that's another story for another day. Um,
right.
they both are controversial. They both have not been my favorite fighters, to be honest with you. But I'm going with the Funk Master to retain.
Okay.
Um, although I do like Aljamain, this is a fight of your life. This is like you're fighting a damn lion, and that's the way you got to fight. You want to conserve your energy and not get hit. You don't want to get put in the jaws of that lion. And I believe TJ Dillashaw, even after that 2 year layoff and his comeback fight and what have you, he's still a bad hombre.
Mhm.
But I'm still going with Aljamain Sterling. I think like the lesser of the two evils, right? So I'm rolling
Mhm.
with Sterling.
That's what's up. Yeah, Sterling is alright. I'm looking for someone who's closer to complete. Sterling is too jujitsu-y for me.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, it's not that I hate jujitsu. I do not dislike jujitsu. I do not care for jujitsu by itself. Is my point in the sport. I want someone who is able to transition so flawlessly through techniques. and then perhaps finish with jiu-jitsu, right? I want to see boxing that metamorphed into kickboxing, Muay Thai, left way without the headbutt. You know, I want to see them transitions, and then we saw vulnerability. He jumps on his back, and then he takes the neck, and then he gets the submission. That's what I want to see. And TJ Dillashaw is closer to that than this other fella. Dillashaw is a former champion. He's a striking champion with excellent wrestling. Uh, Pupil of Dwayne Bang Ludwig. Shout out Coach Bang. Uh, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see TJ win this one, man. I'm trying to see TJ go back to his winning ways. He tried that tiny might division, and you know, it cost him more than he had to wager, which led to the blood enhancer. So the thing that he took was not like steroids. It's this thing that helps him produce more red blood cells because he fell into the anemic range. And in the anemic range, your body's not making adequate amount of red blood cells to help transfer oxygen throughout the body. So that was his deal. So he used this thing, I forget what it's called, to boost his red blood cell count so he can train hard enough to lose the rest of the weight to make it to 125 pounds or whatever weight class that was. I believe 125.
Yeah.
So that's what led him to that, which was a terrible gamble. And they bit him in the ass, most definitely. But he came back after that and he defeated a worthy foe. In what's that guy's name? The Sandman or something like that.
Sanhagen, Corey Sanhagen.
Yeah. Defeated Corey Sandhagen, some phenomenal competition with a blown out knee, and he still beat this dude, up and coming, rising, top 5 opponent. Blew his knee in the first round and still went the full distance. You know what I'm saying? And got the win. So TJ has more than paid for his debt to society. So I like to see people get off his jock real quick, and let's get to the fights. You know what I'm saying? Sterling, get off his jock real quick and focus on the fight. Focus on entertaining instead of hugging for 25 minutes. You know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna build the sport, and that's what's gonna build your brand. Action, not jujitsu.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Now, Mac says, speaking of longevity, right? The longest boxing match with gloves in history was 110 rounds
Whoa.
long. It began at 9 p.m. April 9th, April 6th, 1893, and ended the next day after 4 a.m. Jesus Louises. Wow. And it's at glove, so there might be a 115 round bare knuckle fight somewhere. I love it.
That's
I love
crazy.
it. And Andy Bowen against Jack Burke fought 7 hours and 19 minutes in New Orleans, Louisiana. That was easy to say. I don't think they fought each other. I think they fought an alligator. But speaking of alligator,
hey, they sure aren't the same anymore.
No, hell no.
After a match like that, there's no way you can ever snap back to what you were.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the alligators. I was like, oh, because they got Pablo Escobar's coke and whatever in their genetics. That's a theory. I'm just saying. But speaking of theories, man, Charles Oliveira has a theory that he's still champion despite losing weight. And that could only mean we're at the main event of the evening. For the UFC vacant lightweight championship, we have 21-1 Islam Makhachev. Apparently, it's not Makhachev, it's Makhachev against Charles Do Bronx Oliveira. Um, we don't need to run down the stats. Both
No, we
men
don't.
are the reason they are the reason why they are here, headlining a pay per view in uh, Abu Dhabi, right in the Etihad Arena. You know,
Mhm.
uh, Islam Makhachev is damn near flawless at 22-1. Charles
Mhm.
Oliveira, there were a lot of people even 5 years ago that thought that Charles Oliveira was a journeyman at best, but he eked out a number of victories to earn himself a title shot.
Mhm.
But the only thing about that is the only thing that has kept him from the title is himself. In Dubronx failing to make the contracted weight. Now, I don't like weight cutting at all. I think it's a level of diminishing returns, right? Um, you should fight closer to the natural weight. Just due to the fact that is this the ultimate weight cutting federation or whatever?
Mhm.
No, this is UFC. You know, I fucking forgot what the acronym stands for. The Ultimate Fighting Championship. That's it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, this is not the you know Ultimate Weight Cutting Championship. This ain't
That's
that,
true.
right? So, and any other promotion that happens, it has irreparable damage because you get when you get hits, it's a lot more substantial than you would if your brain was fully engorged in water, right?
Mhm.
So it's just a bad news. So yes, I don't want weight cutting, but also when you came in as heavy as you did, Charles Oliveira,
Mhm.
and have crap decisions, yeah, crap explanations of why that happened. I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna flip you a coin because neither one of these, even though they're in the main event, I don't have a dog in the hunt.
I got
So
a dog in this hunt.
okay,
I
what you
got
got?
a dog in this hunt. Hey,
Well,
it's
rough,
a
rough.
tale. It's a tale of two magnificent warriors. One comes from the land of Brazil, the other from the mountains of Dagestan. They were both without money. Neither had material wealth. However, one was poor and the other one wasn't. Islam was not poor because he had all the benefits life had to offer. He had good food, excellent nutrition. He had excellent academies, wrestling academies from a young, very, very young age in which he grew and became the man that he is today. Right? Russia took care of him. He was well taken care of. So he might not have had material things, but he was not a poor man. Okay? Charles Oliveira, on the other hand, from the favelas of Brazil, everything he does is for the people. The man refuses to live the hood so he can be close enough to continue helping the people. One does it for the people, one does it for glory. I can
Yeah,
only respect one in this particular matchup. I'm going Charles Oliveira because the man is fighting for a bigger purpose, a bigger cause. He's fighting for food on people's table. Of course, he's going to take a huge chunk of it, and he's got to pay his managers and so on. And he himself has to live in luxury, which is he's earned because he's the one going in there taking those beatings. But he makes time for the people, and as long as he's making time for the people, he's my champion. And no one has beaten him yet, so therefore he is the champion. I believe he has the capability to stand up against Islam Makhachev. They're about the same height too. I didn't realize Islam was so big, but they're about the same height. It's gonna be a battle for the ages. 11-5 win streak versus 10-5 win streak. This is what mixed martial art is all about. You will get everything from these people. Both of them will deliver.
yeah.
This is going to be a phenomenal match.
I like Charles Oliveira, but I'm gonna go with Makachev. I just
And you are absolutely right in making that choice because this is worthy of that 50-50 split. They
Mhm.
both deserve that respect.
Yeah,
I mean, 11 and 10 fight win streak. It is what it is.
yeah, and if it goes the other way and it ends up, the title ends up with New Bronx, it just adds to the legend. And as of right now, I mean, there's no disputation. Both of them made weight. Everybody in the
Yes,
top three fights, right? The featured
we're good to
matchup between
go.
all, we're good to go. So it's, if you got the damn pay per view, you're gonna get your money's worth out of it. I can assure you. This is definitely indicative and worthy of a main event slot, a title fight, and what have you. So
Let's
definitely
go.
go ahead and check that out on ESPN Plus if you're here in the States and wherever you may get it if you're overseas, like Micmac. So we definitely want Micmac to go ahead and see the UFC fisticuffs. So send that
Yes.
guy a link.
Enjoy
And
that cricket.
yeah, 100%. And as we go, the record for the longest bare knuckle fight is listed at 6 hours, 15 minutes for a match between James Kelly and Jonathan Smith, fought in Fiery Creek, Victoria, Australia in
Bare knuckle.
1884. So, yes. And
6 hours.
yeah, that's bare knuckle too. Jesus Christ. Man, that's it. After that, you go have a beer with that damn
Well, you're
opponent.
gonna need more than you're gonna need Jesus after a match like that.
You probably met him like the 2 years before the damn bare knuckle fight. We're talking about the turn of the century, but you know what's not centurial. There you go.
Yeah.
You're not because you're the ever changing, ever shrieking, ever youthful dynamic. So to people who want to follow you, your youth, your experience, your je ne sais quoi, where can they find you, good sir?
Everywhere you type in Voodoo Maximus, I will pop up. You will not find me on TikTok, belongs to the Chinese. You will not find me anywhere else. Well, but YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook page. Some Twitter here and there, but that's all I have time for. So, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you at the top, like Mike Chandler will say. Mike
Yeah,
Chandler, see you at the top.
there it is. And VPN, baby, 100%. You got to get that. The regional codes. And in reference to the bare knuckle fight, he says, "Did you see the Ned Kelly movie in 2003? Haven't, but I think I might have to watch
Who's
that.
Ned Kelly?
It was a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a movie back in '03. I do remember that. That was Oscar
Ned Kelly.
contention and whatever. So, yeah, let me go ahead and check that out. And I did make a not an assumption, but a observation. Do you remember Richard Pryor's Toy,
Richard
the
Pryor?
movie Toy with Master
Believe so.
Bates, where
Believe
the
so.
little kid basically buys Richard Pryor? The dad was just like get him whatever he wants, and Richard Pryor is buffing the floors in the damn toy store and
Okay.
whatever, and he was like, I want him. It's like you can't have a person or whatever, but that to me is Tony Khan of AEW, and Richard Pryor's character is the entire AEW roster. So for more hot takes like that, whether you agree or disagree, come and engage me. According to Woods
Let's
across the
go.
board, on all the social medias, yeah. So that's that. So when I'm not podcasting, dumb shit and memes is what you're getting out of me, 100%. That's what I'm good for. So if that's what you're in for, holla if you hear me.
Big Papa Pump, it's your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
Damn right. And
Look at that! Look at that!
yes, with the fucking push-ups. There's one last year with Russell Crowe, and it's a true story. All right,
Oh,
go ahead and check it out.
I like
100%.
Russell Crowe.
Mm,
I
that-
like Gladiator.
yeah, okay. All right. But I also just deal in the combat sport, so that's
what's up.
yeah. So I'm just saying. So again, thank you guys for watching us. Thank you for if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Voodoo in the Woods pages. Also on bodyslam.net. We're being simulcast right now. So thank you to the good brothers and sisters on bodyslam.net. And yep, Ned Kelly, Russell Crowe, born in New
That's what's
Zealand.
up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so I'm just saying.
You come from good stock, huh?
I feel like the the New Zealand's, the Kiwis, they're good. Oh yes.
That's what's up.
Yeah, shout out to the All Blacks, man. But shout out to all of you guys for sticking with us. You guys are amazing. So that's it. Go ahead and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend of fights. There's a lot of it. So go ahead and check that out. And until next time, we love you. Bye. Boo. There's an intro there.